Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining us today is Jay Huseman. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you. And we have hit the top level. It is the NASCAR Cup Series, the premier level. And they're in the same boat, though. That first race of the round of 8. And the playoffs are cooking. It's going to be hot. May not be as hot in Las Vegas, but on the track, I think it's going to be.
It definitely is. And you've checked out the entry list already.
Yeah, so we don't even have quite the full field of 40. We got 38 drivers listed. You have the 6 teams that are now open teams technically. Front Row Motorsports with the number 4, Noah Gragson, the 34 of Todd Gillen, and the 38 of Zane Smith. 3 teams from 2311 would be the 23 of Bubba Wallace, the 35 of Riley Herbst, as well as the 45 of Tyler Reddick. But 2 other part-time teams are entered. The 44, which I believe is New York Racing, has J.J. Yaley listed. And then Live Fast Motorsports number 78 will be Catherine Legg getting another start.
It'll be interesting to see if she comes back next season. I'm hoping that she does.
I think so. Again, it might be a part-time schedule, but I think she has shown the improvement and drawn some attention. So hopefully we do see her back.
All right. Let's get into the NASCAR Cup Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the South Point 400, that at the 1.5-mile asphalt oval on Sunday, October the 12th, starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, USA will have the pre-race coverage starting at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So we're talking about another nighttime race. And radio coverage is available on PRN and SiriusXM NASCAR Channel 90. They will race a distance of 400.5 miles over 267 laps. Stage 1 ends on lap 80. Stage 2 on lap 165 for 85 laps. And then the final stage is another 102 laps ending on lap 267. Where you're going to watch this weekend? Well, they'll have the Cup Series practice and Busch Light pole qualifying on True TV and PRN SiriusXM at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday, October the 11th. And then the races on Sunday, again, starting at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on USA, PRN, and SiriusXM. So, looking forward to this one. I think you're right. I think it's going to be a pretty highly competitive race.
And it marks the 36th running of a NASCAR Cup Series race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So this one's got not as long a history, but pretty solid when it comes to being involved at the NASCAR level.
And this is actually going to be the 8th playoff race held at Las Vegas, with each race opening a round in the playoffs. They opened the round of 16 from 2018 to 19, the round of 12 from 2020 and 2021, and then the round of 8 since 2022 to the present.
And this being the first round of the round of 8, the 3 tracks in the round of 8 are going to be Las Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville. And Talladega is key here. I didn't realize this.
Okay, now this is the first time that Talladega has even been in the round of 8. So I think that is key. And I think a lot of these drivers, we've been saying it over and over, they're going to want to get the win at Las Vegas. And there are some drivers who do not do well at Martinsville. They also are going to be really wanting to do well at Las Vegas this week.
And I had to think this one through because I was going to argue against it, but Josh Berry became the first driver to earn his first Cup career win at Las Vegas when he won there in March. And I was thinking that was where Dale Earnhardt Jr. did, but I decided that was at Texas, not Las Vegas.
It was Texas. You are correct.
Yeah.
Okay, now Las Vegas in the spring had a track record of 32 lead changes. That's going to be interesting to see what happens this week. That's a lot of lead changes.
And it's a very close one, as 7 of the last 8 Las Vegas races have had a MOV, which is margin of victory, of less than a second. 7 of 8 have been less than a second for the win.
Sounds exciting to me. Now, the pass for the win came in the final 6 laps in 4 of the last 7 Las Vegas races.
But running up front is important, as 3 of the last 5 Las Vegas races winners swept the stages. That means they were up front all day long.
And Joey Logano with 4, Kyle Larson with 3 are the only repeat winners at Las Vegas in the last 15 races. So there's a little preview to our fantasy report.
And there you go. Got some of those notes building already. And talking about leading and being up front, 10 of the last 11 Las Vegas race winners were from the top 10 starting positions. So to be up there, you got to start up there.
Now, Denny Hamlin in September of 2021 is the only Toyota driver to win at Las Vegas in the last 11 races.
Wow. I did not know this was an anti-Toyota track. How about that? Now, the final green flag stretch was less than 16 laps in only 2 of the last 9 Las Vegas races. Again, a lot of action going on here at Las Vegas.
And Kyle Larson won 5 of the last 8 stages at Las Vegas.
And that's where Chevrolet would be outdoing Toyota for sure. The Stage 2 winner has gone on to win 10 of the 16 Las Vegas races that have held races with the stage breaks in them.
Okay, and 4 of the 8 playoff drivers are Las Vegas winners. That's kind of interesting as well. They have those 4 drivers have a combined 9 wins there. You've got Joey Logano with 4, Larson with 3, and then Denny Hamlin does have that 1 win that we talked about, and William Byron is the 4th driver with 1 win.
And if you didn't put those names together in a category, they fall under Hendrick Motorsports. Their drivers have won 5 of the last 9 Las Vegas races with the 3 different drivers. Kyle Larson with his 3, and then Alex Bowman with 1, and again, William Byron has 1.
All right, and Kyle Larson's first of 26 wins with Hendrick Motorsports came at Las Vegas in March of 2021.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about Mr. Larson, as he leads all drivers at Las Vegas with 690 laps led and 7 stage wins. His average finish of 9.39 leads all drivers with more than 3 starts, and he needs to pick it up. He's been coming back to where he should be, I think, after kind of a mid-season slump.
And William Byron, his teammate, finished in the top 10 in the last 5 Las Vegas races. That's the longest active streak.
And not to make it just about these 2 teammates, but William Byron's 5-race top 10 streak at Las Vegas is tied for his longest top 10 streak at a track with Talladega. That is also currently an active streak. So that and Talladega is 2 top 5 or top 10 streaks going on right now.
The driver won the opening race of the round of 8, did go on to win the championship in 3 of the last 4 seasons. So there you go, Jay.
Yeah, there's that. Can't tell you Joey Logano did it last year, but so what, 3 of the last 4, whereas compared to the Xfinity, not. So that's kind of interesting between the Cup and the Xfinity.
It is.
Now this weekend's race is the last of the 7 races in 2025 on 1.5 mile tracks. Again, we mentioned a super speedway, a short track, and Phoenix being a hybrid kind of a 1 mile track. So this is the last of the 1.5s.
We mentioned Denny Hamlin earlier, and this one focuses on Toyota. Toyota is winless in all 6 races on the 1.5 mile tracks in 2025.
I like these kind of stats because you don't necessarily notice it throughout the season, but when they break it down, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, that Toyota didn't win on the 1.5. Now, the race winner led less than 25 laps in 5 of the 6 races on 1.5 mile tracks in 2025. That tells you there was action in the final laps.
And just because these stats are where they are at this point doesn't mean that when they go to Las Vegas this week that some of that might change. Okay.
That's true.
Now, Chase Briscoe won the pole for the last 2 races on the 1.5 mile track, so we'll see if he does it this weekend. The Toyota.
And that he has been the one of putting up the poles here in the latter part of the season, so that will be kind of interesting. Now, the pass for the win came in the final 7 laps in 6 of the last 8 1.5 mile races, and that includes 2 last lap passes.
And each of the last 2 races on 1.5 mile tracks had a driver that swept the stages, yet not win. Now, Coca-Cola 600, William Byron, and in the second Kansas race, that was Denny Hamlin, winning all the stages, but not the race.
And this one kind of hits forward. Ryan Blaney has finished 24th or worst in 4 of the 6 races on 1.5 mile tracks in 2025, with an average finish of 23rd. He needs to change that this weekend.
Yes, and that's kind of amazing because in some of the other tracks, he's done very, very well, but not on the 1.5 mile tracks, which is very interesting. All right, now Kyle Larson finished top 10 in the last 3 races, his best streak since April and beginning of May. So it's good to see him back.
If you're a Kyle Larson fan, if you're the competition, maybe not. Like I said, he seems to be getting back to form at the right time.
Yes.
Now, all 3 races in the round of 8 are on the tracks that previously hosted a race in the 2025 season. Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott are the only drivers to finish top 10 in all 3 of those races. No one finished in the top 5 in all 3, but Larson, Elliott, and Byron led all drivers with 2 each.
All right. Now, Ryan Blaney earned a total of 39 points in 3 races held in the round of 8 tracks raced on prior to 2025. He has an average of 13 points per race.
Yeah. Now, Chase Briscoe mentioned him. He's the only playoff driver that has never raced in the championship 4. The other 7 were all there at least twice. So Chase Briscoe, the new kid on the block.
He is. And the bubble to advance to the championship 4 was less than 10 points in each of the last 6 seasons. That's pretty amazing.
It is, and we'll talk about that when we look at the points. It's in that range this year as well. Now, the current round of 8 drivers won 5 of the last 6 races at Las Vegas. So, again, the cream has risen to the top.
It has. And the current round of 8 drivers won the last 7 races at Martinsville.
And since 2017, the last driver to advance into the championship 4 has averaged 38 points per race during this round of 8. So again, you'll look to see how many points they're earning with stage points and everything else, and then the final tally, because that'll tell you whether that'll get them into that championship 4.
It does indeed. In each of the last 2 seasons, only 1 driver made the championship 4 on points.
And that's that guaranteed, because we got 3 races, the round of 3 races, with 4 drivers being eliminated. 3 are guaranteed or can get in on wins and 1 guaranteed on points. And so that means that the winning is what it takes. Now, no driver has finished worse than 25th during the round of 8 and pointed their way back into the championship 4. So that'll be interesting to watch.
And the average finish of drivers to point their way into the championship 4 is 8th. The average stage finish is also 8th.
And this is where we talked about, especially with the championship race of Team Penske has kind of figured out this playoff format. They have won in the round of 8 in 4 of the last 5 seasons, getting themselves into that championship 4.
And since 2017, only 2 drivers have pointed into the championship 4 from below the cut line. In 2021, that was Chase Elliott. He was 8 points back. Also in 2021, it was Martin Truex Jr., who was 22 points back.
And 22 points is a lot to have pointed in, I'll tell you that.
It is indeed. Well, he was 22 points below the cut line to point your way in. So that's pretty amazing.
Now, a driver has won into the championship 4 from below the cut line during the round of 8 in 8 of the 10 seasons in this playoff format. And that's the key point. You can win your way in from below the cut line, but pointing your way in, that's a little bit harder.
Whole different story there. The largest gap to the cut line entering the round of 8 that failed to make it into the championship 4 was plus 45 by Kevin Harvick in 2020. And if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the year that he won 9 races?
Yeah, had 9, 10 wins, and then, didn't make it. Yeah, that's why I was hanging my head. I was like, I know what that one's about. We're talking about that gap. Joey Logano enters the round of 8, 24 points below the cut line. That is the largest deficit in history entering this round. He could win his way in, but pointing his way in, probably he'd have to exceed Martin Truex Jr.'s 22.
Okay, now the number 1 seed is Denny Hamlin. He enters the round of 8 only 8 points above the cut line. That's crazy. That is the smallest gap in history for the number 1 seed. Kyle Busch was plus 18 in 2019. That was the previous smallest gap. So that's how tight it is this year.
And that goes back to in years past, and Joey Logano's name comes back to mind when you had the big 3 plus me. We haven't seen an overall, we've had several drivers have multiple wins, but not really dominate the entire season and build up that bucket of playoff points. So, yeah, that's surprising. 8 points being the smallest, and I knew it was not a whole lot.
It's tight, tight.
Now, to look at that, to break it down, the average point score to the last driver to advance from the round of 8 is 7,146. Right now, the projected cut line is lower, 7,133. And that's due to the round of 8 drivers scoring less points historically at drafting tracks, which Talladega has moved into that position this year. Look at the race number 7, first round of this round of 8. The clinch scenario's not going to happen. We're talking about the littlest points gap, 8 points. You're not going to lock yourself in via points. So nobody going to clinch, and nobody's won yet because it's the first race. So to highlight all 8 drivers: Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Chase Joey Logano. We pretty much broke down the points of that smallest gap. Denny Hamlin is the points leader at 4,036, 2 points over Ryan Blaney, 34, 2 more points back to Kyle Larson and William Byron, who are in a tie, and then 4 points back to Bell at 28. From 5th back, there's a little bit of a gap, 10 points back to then Chase Elliott at 4018, who's in a tie with Chase Briscoe, and then you got a 10-point gap to Joey Logano at 4,008. And that goes back to Joey Logano's in that position based on playoff points. Everybody else had double digits, 18 or more playoff points. Joey Logano only had 8. Once we do eliminate 4 more after Martinsville, there's a bump back down, and Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Alex Bowman, as well as even going back to the first 4 that were eliminated, Austin Cindric. That's where Alex Bowman is one of those. Alex Bowman, Austin Cindric, Austin Dillon, and Josh Berry. They can, even it's not going to happen with this scenario, but 16th could race their way up to as high as 5th. Josh Berry not had the best of years or playoffs for that matter, which is why he got eliminated. But Matt, if you race well enough, you can race your way back up to 5th. But we see the competition level there. I mean, it's so tight of 1 or 2 points getting in, you're probably not going to catch those top guys.
Probably not. Again, it is a kind of record-breaking that there are so few points between the drivers in this particular round. And we'll see if it gets any tighter when we talk about the round of 4.
And to me, that puts it that much more on. And I just go back to Joey Logano doing it last year of getting that win, especially here in this first race of the round, Las Vegas. So you ain't got to worry about Talladega. You don't have to worry about Martinsville. But that win aside being the most important, points racing. I hate to say that, but getting stage points, getting that fast lap award for a 1 point, every position gonna matter extremely, because if you're not the winner, it's going to come down to these points, and that could be huge.
And we saw that play out for like Taylor Gray in the Xfinity series, where that 1 point made all the difference in the world. And you see so many ties here even in the Cup Series.
I don't remember. I don't know if it showed it or I could give an accurate, but it was 5 to 10 minutes, and I say closer to 10 or even more, after that race that NASCAR declared, and I'm trying to, what was it, Sammy Smith, I think, over Taylor Gray?
Smith, yeah. Yep.
They kind of knew it based on what was projected and whatnot, but NASCAR did want to verify that last lap of where everybody was running, because one position, 1 point was going to make the difference. They knew it, but they did have to wait about 10, 15 minutes for it to be official from NASCAR.
Yeah, and those were agonizing minutes for those drivers. Like you said, they kind of knew it, but they were, especially in Taylor Gray's case, I think he was hoping against all hope that maybe, just maybe.
Well, and the other side, you said agonizing. Sammy Smith told me I had the tiebreaker and it was tied. Well, what are you doing? Don't give him something he shouldn't have. So it was probably more stressful, like you said. On Taylor's side, it was, I know I did, but if you're looking at it, maybe there's hope, versus Sammy Smith being like, hey, I know I got in, don't take it away from me.
It's going to be do not miss races. All of them are do not miss races, but these are going to be intense, hard racing, these next 3 races, and you want to make sure you tune in for all of these races, and do watch for more coming here from Fan for Racing Radio, as well as we've now completed all of our previews for the 3 races in the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for this weekend. And then tomorrow, Taz and I will sit down and give you the fantasy report to help you with your fantasy picks. And on the other side of the weekend, we'll be back with the reviews for all 3 races, as well as our Hot Topic Sound Off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday night, when Chris J and I will discuss all the hottest topics. Hopefully all is well, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody in the next videos, which for me will be tomorrow. But Jay, I know you've probably got some things happening at the racetrack.
Jackson Motor Speedway is done, and it'll be another week before I do the motocross up in Tennessee. That'll be the next time I go up, and then I am seriously thinking I might get to sneak down to Why Not Motorsports Park House of Hook the following week for that fall classic Chris was talking about with the Thrash family, big super late model, the last of the unsanctioned. It's not a series sponsored, so what they call the unsanctioned event, one of the last remaining.
So it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, though. So if you're out in that area, you'll want to get out to Why Not Motorsports Park. But once again, thank you to everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll look forward to talking to you soon.
See ya.